All right, I want to do a quick discussion on Folsom points and their flutes. Folsoms aren't just a fluted point, they are the fluted point. To me, they're pretty amazing. A lot of these flutes or channel flakes are terminated just before the tip on all the really nice Folsoms. They're some of the best ever created. Incredible pieces. You can see where that flake terminated. Some of them do run off on one, usually their first flake, and then the second flake they were able to terminate it, but a lot of them are terminated just before the tip. Super control, very thin. Here's two that were fluted by the same fella. These casts were, well, the originals of these casts were found about 9 miles from each other, and you can pretty much tell it was the same napper, same technique in fluting, great control. Some of these Folsoms, most of them I'm going to get into in a minute, are very flat. This is one of the only few that I've seen that have kind of an arcing flute, and the other side a diving flute. There's some more examples of perfect termination. This is a Cooper site cast. An amazing Folsom. This one would have been a real doozy. It's very thin. I see a lot of people making Folsoms and they're still nowhere near the originals. Even most of mine don't even come close. Not saying that I'm all that, but look how small some of these were, and the termination is there on both of them, both sides. Great micro flaking. There's a cast of the Lindenmeyer. See where that flute may have run off the tip on that one, but terminated. I'm not working with a whole lot there. It's very thin. I wanted to show the micro flaking if I could pick it up on this, but I think this one was out of Oklahoma. Here's another back end that has some incredible micro flaking on it. Very steep angle. San Luis Valley. And they were going for thin. I mean, look how thin some of these are. This one has some incredible micro flaking also. It's almost hard to pick it up on the camera. And go for another thin, 1 millimeter thick. Anyways, also a lot of these old points, they were shooting for very flat flakes. They're not a whole lot of arcing flakes on there. If you put them on something surface, on a real good Folsom, authentic Folsoms, they're not going to have much rock from end to end. You're going to find that they're fairly flat, just maybe a smidgen of a rock. This one definitely has a rock because it does have an arcing flute to it. Another termination. This one they ran it off the tip on the first try, but on the second one they stopped it. A couple of mine here that before they go, I was able to stop that one, and that one stopped right at the tip. And I'm shooting for fairly thin also. And I'm also shooting for no rocking or barely any rocking. So I want almost a spooned out flake. I know a lot of people think that channel flake should just run off, but on a lot of the best ones, they stopped it right before the end there. And I'm still working on my micro flake, and it depends on what kind of rock. I was able to terminate those channel flakes right before the tip. I'm not saying how I do it, but I get lucky. This one has a twist and flute. This is another one that I've made. Terminated. Just a little bit of a twist to it, but anyway, so try to make them flutes flat if you're gonna be making Folsoms. You don't want them rocking back and forth like a Eden Point rocks side to side and wobbles. Folsoms were flat. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. And I am on Instagram at Tony Soares Pottery, Soares. You can check out some of my Folsom points, a lot of my pottery, and some fun things.